Welcome back to the League of Women Voters Candidate Forum. At this time, we are going to begin the forum for the candidates running for Mount Prospect Village Trustees. Just as a reminder, the candidates have agreed to abide by the ground rules provided by the League of Women Voters. They are as follows. Candidates have drawn numbers to determine speaking order. The moderator will rotate the order during the forum. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for introduction. Each candidate will have 1 minute to answer questions from the audience. And at the end of the forum, each candidate will have a 1 minute closing statement. League members here at the front of the room will be timing the candidates. Candidates will have a 30-second warning, so please quickly complete your thought before you see the red stop card. Time limits will be enforced out of respect for all candidates. Questions will be provided by the audience. Each question will be answered by all of the candidates, so please, audience, ask questions that pertain to all of the candidates. League members have index cards to write questions on, and they will be picked up by Link volunteers. Questions will be reviewed for clarity, appropriateness, and to avoid duplication. Candidates have been asked not to interrupt each other. The moderator will repeat a question if asked to do so. Audience members, please turn off all of your electronic devices. Please hold all applause until the end, and please do not demonstrate in any way support or non-support of a candidate. There is space in the lobby for candidates to speak to supporters after the forum. Campaign literature may also be placed on the tables in the lobby. No campaign signs may be posted. Please be respectful of all the candidates and attendees. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce our moderator for this particular forum, Lisa Slankard. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Okay, welcome. We have 6 candidates up there for trustee. This is for the Village of Mount Prospect, which I talked with the mayor, and you've celebrated your 100th anniversary 2 years ago, so congratulations. The 6 candidates are Jeffrey Nadel, Richard Rogers, Yulia Biechik, Paul Hofert, Colleen Saccatelli, and Augie Filipponi. I apologize to Yulia because we gave her an extra letter in her name. We're going to start with the 2-minute introduction. By number draw, we'll start with Jeffrey Nadel. And keep an eye for your time over here. Jeffrey?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Would like to first thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum. Thank everyone for coming out for this important morning. I'm very excited. My name is Jeffrey Nadel. I'm a homegrown resident of Mount Prospect. My parents lived here as well. I graduated from Harper College with associates, went to Concordia for a bachelor's in history. My volunteer time has included working at the Mount Prospect Historical Society, working on a lot of 100-year anniversary projects, and that was very fun. I'm running as a writing candidate because I have had this innate sense in me to always help others. I've been taught about that from my school days, from church, from my family, being examples of helping others and serving others. I'm here today because I want to help my neighbors in this community. It is a great community. I am very fortunate to be part of this community. I'm very dedicated to this community. I want to be more engaged. I'm here seeking the opportunity to take the next initiative to help my neighbors collaborate with others so that we together can move forward as a village for a better Mount Prospect. Thank you.
Richard Rogers.
Hi, my name is Richard Rogers. I am a registered architect. I'm a registered professional engineer. I have lived in the village of Mount Prospect for 50 years, a long time. I came here with my wife and 2 young children because of the school system. Mount Prospect has always been known as an excellent school system. I am the president of ACM Associates Incorporated, and I've been that for 37 years. So I have a lot of business experience. I know how to handle budgets. I'm currently a Mount Prospect trustee. When we moved into the village in 1968, I felt that I had to give something back to the village. So in 1980, I joined the Sign Review Board. At that time, the signs throughout the village were in somewhat of a shambles, and we've cleaned them all up. We've done a great job of that. So I was on the Sign Review Board for 10 years. After that, I joined the Zoning and Planning Board, and I was on the Zoning and Planning Board for 10 years. I eventually became chair of Zoning and Planning. I was appointed as trustee by the mayor in 2013. So I was elected then for 2 years later in 2015. And I've served as a Mount Prospect trustee for the last 6 years. I'm extremely proud of being a citizen of Mount Prospect, and I ask for your vote so that I can continue my service.
Thank you. Yulia Biacic?
Bijakic,
Biacic,
without the extra C.
without the extra C.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come and attend this important forum, and thank you so much to the League for hosting. My name is Yulia Bijakic, and I am running for Mount Prospect Village Trustee because I'm committed to this community. I own a home, I pay taxes, and most importantly, I'm raising 2 wonderful humans in this community, which gives me a vested interest in ensuring that Mount Prospect continues to be a successful and vibrant community. I've spent my 4 years in Mount Prospect volunteering with local organizations and helping with state and local campaigns, which gave me a unique opportunity to hear directly from the residents of Mount Prospect and to understand how they feel about the collaboration between the local government and the community at large. And I hope to use that experience and my extensive community connections to continue to reinforce and enhance the relationship between our community and our local government. In my professional life, I'm a certified public accountant with 15 years of professional experience in private industry and real estate, which is a skill set I hope to bring to the village board to consider the many real estate projects that the village board will be considering in the very near future. I know what questions to ask, I understand the terminology, and I always do my research and my homework. In the weeks ahead, I hope to speak with each and every one of you about your ideas and your vision for Mount Prospect, so together we can work to ensure that Mount Prospect is well prepared for the future and continues to be a welcoming, thriving, and successful community. I hope to earn your vote on April 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Hofert?
Good morning. I'm Paul Hofert, your village trustee. I've been your voice in village government for the last 28 years. Thanks to the League of Women Voters for creating this opportunity. My top 5 priorities: continuing a conservative approach to our village finances. My records show that I'm financially responsible, keeping annual spending and tax levies as low as possible. That's been a top priority. I have supported 28 balanced budgets, a diversified tax base. I fought to keep our property taxes low. In fact, during our recent budget process, I proposed and found support for a 0% increase, that's no increase, in our tax levy for 2019. Strong life safety services. Maintaining a strong police, fire, and public works is a critical priority. Life safety are the most important services that your village government can bring to you. When you need an ambulance, a fire truck, or a police officer to arrive at your home, there can't be any compromise. Protecting our residential neighborhoods. Protecting the delicate fabric of our residential neighborhoods from negative intrusion, from commercial activity, and inappropriate outsized development is extremely important to me. Economic development and a vital business community. Our local community, our local economic community, is growing and vibrant. Empty storefronts have filled. CVS, United, Walgreens, they've all located here in a big way. We have a lot more to do, but we have to make sure that they know this is a great place to do business. And then annual infrastructure improvements. I've always supported making improvements to our roads, to our bridges, to our sewers, and to our water mains so that we don't let these vital assets fall into disrepair and then have to catch up later. Because when you have to catch up later, it costs you a lot more. Thank you all for attending today, and I really look forward to this. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleen Secatelli.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting today's forum. My name is Colleen Secatelli, and I'm running for re-election as village trustee. I'm originally from the northwest side of Chicago. I have a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's degree in international affairs. I've worked in government at the state and local levels. Most recently, I worked at the Illinois Housing Development Authority and their legal department. My husband and I chose Mount Prospect for our family in 2013 for the wonderful community, great schools, and parks. I am running for re-election because I believe in the future of Mount Prospect. In a second term, I am committed to adaptive outreach and citizen engagement, village-wide economic development, long-term financial stability, and public safety. Our village is made up of many different cultures and ethnic backgrounds. I would like to see more participation from a wider variety of people. We must empower our residents to participate in government more fully by sharing with them the many functions of government. Many residents want to give back to the community. We should give them the information so they may do so. I have supported development activities throughout town. I have pushed for effective communications with the public. I developed the concept of Talk and Chalk after community members requested an informal, child-friendly setting to meet with village leaders. Finally, I have promoted public safety through support of increasing fire and police staffing counts to be at pre-2010 levels. I also advocated for the police department to have a facility that meets their needs. I bring a fresh perspective to the board. I believe my first term, coupled with my government administration experience, as well as the fact that I'm a newer resident with a young family, make me extremely qualified and invested in serving for a second term. Thank you.
Thank you. Augie Filipponi.
Hi, I'm Augie Filipponi, and let me tell you who I am. I'm the son of immigrants. My father came here when he was 17, immigrated from Italy, alone, high school dropout. My mother, she came over with her family when she was much younger, from Italy as well. My family owned a small business. They had a restaurant in Schiller Park, and like most small business immigrant families, I started working there when I was real young. So from the age of 8, I was in the back of Sergio's Pub and Food making salads and pasta. As an 8-year-old, I didn't fully appreciate the values that kind of work and seeing my parents build their lives and their business in America taught me. But it did instill in me certain values that I hold today and that I try and instill on my own children. Determination, hard work, honesty, kindness. I grew up in Morton Grove, and after graduating from Maine East High School, I went to college and then law school. My wife and I moved here in 2013. We have a law firm in town. I mainly handle small business and civil litigation matters. And we volunteer in the community, a lot, happily so. We also have 2 great kids, Olivia, 4 years old, and Ravi, he's a little 4-month, sleeping through the night. That's thanks to my wife, no thanks to me. So I say that because I want you to know that when you think about why I'm making the decisions I'm making, or what my thought process is, or why I am who I am, now you know. Mount Prospect is already a great village, and we can make it even greater. As a nearly 5-year member on the Plan and Zoning, I've had a hand in seeing a lot of projects that have come through and ones that are in the pipeline. I'm excited about what Mount Prospect is and what it can be. I'm running to move Mount Prospect forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to rotate the order and the questions on who goes first. So this first question will be answered now by Richard Rogers, and then we'll continue through. The question is, in reference to the Maple Street Lofts projects, how would you address potential problems, such as density, and do you support the project as currently presented? Mr. Rogers.
To be honest, the project has not even been presented yet. The developer had one meeting, which he presented a 8-story building, which is never going to happen in Mount Prospect. We have a standard of about a 6-story building. We have the bank building, the new 20 West going up. both around 6 stories. The biggest opportunity I see, because I don't see this as a problem, the opportunity is to improve the infrastructure around the area. Doing something with the train station, moving the trains away from the 83 intersection, which will allow better traffic flow in the area. Building a larger garage attached to this structure, a garage which is separate from the, I'm sorry.
Okay, Yulia Bjekic?
Bjekic. We can do just Julia. That's okay.
Oh, no, I'm going to learn it by the end. Bjekic.
Good. Well, I've been looking at real estate projects for the last 15 years of my professional life. And there's a very important concern that I want everyone to think about with regards to Maple Street Lofts. And that is the number of residential rental units that we are looking to bring into downtown Mount Prospect. By my count, between Maple Street Lofts and other developments, we're looking at 500 units. Our neighbors in Des Plaines are looking to bring online about 800 additional units. And as someone who always wants to understand the supply and demand side of things, I am worried whether or not we will be able to create enough demand for that many residents. This is thousands of residents potentially. What will attract them to Mount Prospect? And with that thought in mind, I want us to be very deliberate and very thoughtful with how we approach economic development in downtown, because I think that will bring folks to our downtown. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Hofert?
Maple Street Lofts, I've already stated publicly that I'm very concerned about the level of density. I would say, though, that even the people that are opposed to Maple Street Lofts at this point would like to see development on that site. As a trustee, I would love to see development there, but it has to be appropriately scaled, and it's obviously going to bring additional people and activity to our downtown. The thing about the Maple Street Lofts, as we know it at this point, it's a 7- and 8-story building, 330 units, and every morning and every evening, it was going to congest our downtown. And if you don't think that when people can't get across the tracks, they're going to turn and go south into the neighborhoods south of the downtown, which will impact the single-family neighborhood, and I've already told you I'm very concerned about our residential neighborhoods. So we have to solve for these problems before we build this. You don't build something and then solve it, right? So there are ways to solve this, and if we work with a developer, I really think we can get to a place where everybody will be happy.
Thank you. Colleen?
So as a board, we haven't been formally presented with the final proposal for this, but we know that density is needed in the downtown. We've heard this from the real estate and the business community that businesses cannot come here. They're not interested in relocating to the downtown unless there is a base of people to support their businesses. So we need more people in the downtown. Residents have been asking for a market in the downtown forever. There needs to be an economic base for these businesses to come to the downtown. With development, there will be traffic issues, but there are things that we can do in the short term, such as adjusting traffic light timing, traffic calming measures and studies, and one day, hopefully moving the train station to alleviate that issue, and also getting Metro to stop not across 83 so there's not so much traffic stopped with the train station.
Thank you. Augie?
Yeah, as a city member of Planning and Zoning, this is going to come in front of myself and my fellow commissioners first. So I need to be careful to, and all the other board members as well, currently if it comes to them before, about what we say. But I will, in terms of answering your specific question, state that there really isn't an answer right now, because we don't know what this project is. There have been some parameters and other things floated out there, and some meet and greets and things like that. But I can't make a decision one way or another in fairness to the developer and fairness to the community. I don't have the facts in front of me now. All I know is that when it does come in front of me, I'm going to review the facts. I'm going to review the community development department's recommendations. I'm going to listen to the developer. I'm going to listen to the residents, and then I'm going to make a decision. And that's going to be based on the full interest and faith of the entire village of Mount Prospect, which is how anyone that wants a trustee position should be answering and voting for matters that affect the village. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeffrey Nadel?
My two focus points is one, looking at the parking garage that's being proposed for the train commuters. I take the train myself downtown, and it's always congested for the morning and afternoon rush hour commutes. Having already be kind of a jam-packed area without the parking garage, I want to make sure that the parking garage is looked into for safety reasons and for density. I also want to see that this project proposal go through. It's being always talked about. It's not fully proposed yet. A lot of community members have great interest in it, and that dialogue needs to continue. We need to see how the two development residential areas are being built now, the one on Elmhurst and on Northwest Highway. See how those develop, and then look back to Maple Street and how to build off those successes that are made.
Thank you. Okay, our next question, we'll start with Yulia. What will you do as trustees to hire diverse employees? How will you create outreach with diverse populations in order to highlight employment opportunities?
Thank you. That's a very important question. I think diversity is extremely important in our village administration and in our boards and commissions. And I think board members should be very proactive with reaching out into the community, leveraging their community connections to seek and proactively recruit candidates that will represent all parts of our very diverse community. And then we have to be deliberate with supporting those folks. We have to help with their campaigns. We have to help with their aspirations. We have to help with their education, and just be extremely aware how much diversity can benefit this community.
Thank you. Paul Hofert?
I'm in the banking industry. We've been on the forefront of diversity for 30 years. We have looked to diversify our workforce because it brings a myriad of ideas that one group of people just don't have. I believe the village is looking to diversify its workforce and has been for many years. In terms of our commissions and our boards, I think there needs to be, and this is not being critical of anybody, but I think we need to reach out into the multicultural community and populate some of our boards with more people of different cultures and different races. So, again, diversity brings equality to the decisions that you don't have otherwise. I'm a huge supporter of it.
Thank you. Colleen?
I have a social justice background from DePaul. I was student government president there, and I worked with a lot of our diverse student populations. So I've talked about the celebration of cultures and what an amazing event that was. And we made so many contacts within the different ethnic populations of our community that we need to build on those. We need to get people more involved in government and to understand what our government does, and then fully participate. So I'm also looking for more diverse participation in our commissions so that more people feel that they're truly represented and their voice is represented in the government. I think it's a top-down approach, starting with the board and the commissions and going from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Augie Filipponi?
Yeah, lead by example. You know, we do have a lot of diversity already in this town in terms of city government and people that are appointed to boards. It's not just about diversity as people traditionally think about it with skin color, but it's also about economic. It's also about family. It's also about other issues that go into making certain that you don't have groupthink, where a bunch of people are just a bunch of yes men. And so you want that consideration of ideas. And, you know, easy ways you can do that is by rotating the coffee with councils. Be able to have some meetings, not just in Village Hall, but also at different times in different areas of the neighborhood. You know, a lot of people that are marginalized and are affected most by this issue don't have 2 hours every week to spend. They have time, they have jobs, they have families to take care of, and we can do more, but we need to just lead by example in our daily lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeffrey Nadel?
Diversity is not a one-time thing. It's not a, let's do it just, this one event for the year, like the cultural event back in September. It was great. This needs to be an ongoing focus that needs to be always addressed. The board needs to look out, and the staff needs to look out and reach out. It's easy to say that we have a lot of great diversity here, but we need to show by example. We need to go out and go talk to each of our Mount Prospect neighbors to tell them that we're with them and that we always want to be open and we always want to have that collaboration with them.
Thank you. Richard Rogers?
As a village trustee, we have been reaching out to the various communities. We've been running cultural events, trying to get people of different cultures involved with Mount Prospect politics. And I don't want to use the word politics, but Mount Prospect events. Bringing them into the community will help them to become members of the various commissions and the boards. We are always actively looking for people of diverse cultures so that we can enjoy what we have here in Mount Prospect. We've recently hired various police officers of different nationalities who speak various languages, and that is because we have various groups that are bilingual and some of which only speak their foreign language. This will help them in order to communicate with our police.
Thank you.
Are we able to rebut?
I haven't called for rebuttals. Do you guys want to do rebuttals? Okay. We can do up to 2 30-second rebuttals.
Okay. So just, I don't know if this is a rebuttal, but Augie may not be aware of this, but years ago, we took coffee with council on the road. And we did that for about 2 years. It didn't work out really well. The time wasn't right then. The time is right now. And in fact, last year, I came up with a proposal to take the village government to the people, exactly what Augie said. We're going to go to the neighborhoods. We're going to go where there's issues, but we're also going to go there more broad-based. And our first meeting in the north is actually in early March. So I'm very, very excited about taking our government to the village people.
Any other?
I'll rebut that.
Okay.
You can't just try. Needs to be continual. Right now, this panel, look at this. Look at the color of our skins, and so let's keep trying. Let's keep doing this. This isn't something that's just going to be a one-time shot. This has been an issue that's been here a long time before, and it's going to be here a long time after us. And again, we need to lead by personal example. And when people see what we're all doing, they will follow as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any others? Okay. That finishes that question. The next question starts with Paul Hofert. What is the plan to ensure pensions are fully funded for our first responders?
So pension funding became really difficult about 10 years ago in the downturn. And the state came up with 2 different ways we could fund our pensions, a less aggressive method and a more aggressive method. We chose the more aggressive method because that money needs to be there for the people that need it when their time to retire is on them. So for the last 10 years, we've been funding as much as we could to the legal limit that we could. And I believe we're doing a very, very responsible effort to make sure that our pension funds are there for the first responders and all the people of the village that have pensions when their time comes in retirement.
Thank you. Colleen Secatelli?
I would agree with Paul in that the village has adopted a more proactive stance on this. We're funding above the level that we're statutorily required to. That has put us in a good position. A few years ago, the actuaries readjusted their metrics for this, and so it put us behind where we thought we were originally, but we're working on it, and on the, I'm a member of the Northwest Municipal Conference Legislative Committee, and it's something that we're looking at very closely, the idea of pensions, not taking away anyone's benefits that they're due them, but how can the state address their funding issues so it doesn't affect us at the local level.
Thank you. Augie Filipponi?
First and foremost, we need to fully fund our pensions, and we need to fund our debt obligations. So that's really a base where we should start, and that's a base where our Finance Commission, our Finance Director, and the Board has kept us there, and we've been fortunate. In terms of additional monies and making sure that we can fund those obligations as well as continuing to grow, 2016 was the first year we had sales tax revenue that was above property tax revenues. Why can't we continue that? If we focus on community developments and as trustees set a policy for the growth of Mount Prospect and responsible growth of Mount Prospect, and then allow the people that we've entrusted, our village staff, to do their job, it's going to be great things. And we've had a lot of developments that have already come forward that have been cash positive that would help provide Mount Prospect additional tax monies. And when you get it from sales tax, ideally, that's also going to mean less on your property tax that's going to be required. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeffrey Nadel?
Fully appreciating what all the first responders do, they need to be a top priority for the board and the pension commission. I would like to work with those entities, those bodies, to ensure that that the first responders know that we are fully behind them, and that they are a number one priority for us.
Thank you. Richard Rogers?
We have been certainly proactive in getting the pensions fully funded. The state of Illinois has been somewhat of a problem in that they continually raise pension requirements without doing any funding. The funding is left to the village, so we have been working diligently to bring those pensions to 100%. We're not quite there yet, but we're going to get there. So we are working all the time to bring those pensions up to date so that we can support the people who are supporting us today. Those first responders who are out there on the street, they need to know they're going to be taken care of when the time comes.
Thank you. Yulia?
One way we can honor and respect our public servants is by keeping the promises that have been made to them, and that means fully funding our pension obligations. Our pensions are only 60% funded currently, which is less than many of our neighboring communities, and was the reason why we received a very weak rating from Standard & Poor's in 2018. So our efforts have to be more deliberate and more disciplined so we can ensure that our public pensions are fully funded in short order. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I do a rebuttal?
Yes. 30 seconds.
I just want to say that Standard & Poor's has rated us AA+, which is almost the best rating that you can possibly get. I can't believe that we would think that we have a poor rating. And we're about 65% funded on the pensions, which is far greater than most of the communities in our area.
Another rebuttal? Okay, the next question, Colleen Secatelli. What is your vision for the village? What do you wish to build on, and what would you change?
I would like to see continued economic development throughout town. I want to see the South Mount Prospect plan fully implemented. I first look forward to receiving it, but to see their recommendations and what we can do to improve on the south side. I want all of Mount Prospect to feel connected, so I want to improve infrastructure and interconnectedness through towns, through sidewalks and better crossings, to make people feel that they are one community. I also want to make sure that people's voices are heard, to continue to improve citizen engagement. That's something I've been working on since I was first elected, to make sure people feel that their voice is represented and to continue to get feedback from residents.
Thank you. Augie Filipponi?
Yeah, if we don't progress, we regress. And as anyone who's ever stopped working out knows, a few days in, the pudge comes back. So, look, at the end of the day, we as a village, as the trustees, our biggest power that we hold is to design policy and decide where do we want to be as a village, considering all the benefits and all the effects that it will have to all of our residents. And so when we make out game plans in these strategic comprehensive plans, we need to let the outside world know, we need to let our residents know, because of all the time, money, and efforts that have been put in by stakeholders, that what we mean, what we say is what we mean. And so that also includes making sure we don't micromanage and allowing the very smart people that we hire, that we have as village staff across all our departments, to be able to do their job and support them. It doesn't make sense to hire smart people and micromanage. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeffrey Nadel?
Of course, the number one vision is to always be readily available for our neighbors, making sure that they know that any issue that they bring up, any discussion point, that we will exhaust all of our efforts to make sure that it gets through. One of a vision that I've been working on, it's a project I've done through student government in college. I want to see this village work on more sustainability and environmental policy and effort work, developing programs to bring in investors and businesses that can help thrive our village, become a new leader in a green world.
The village is working on development right now. Because of the economic situation which we have today, we have been fortunate, and developers have come into the village to help. We're doing a lot of residential projects. Those residential projects will bring more commercial and retail into the village itself. We're working right now on trying to annex some land on the south side of Chicago, the south side of Mount Prospect. And that development is right by the O'Hare expansion area. We're hoping that those areas will be expanded into some multi-story office buildings and some warehouses, which again will bring a larger tax base into the village of Mount Prospect. I was one of the ones who also pushed for a 0% increase, no tax increase for the village.
Thank you.
Citizen engagement and community outreach are the centerpiece of my campaign. I want us to do better. I want us to do better with allowing our community to petition their government, with giving folks an opportunity to come and have their ideas heard and incorporated in our plans. I want us to concentrate on business development, and we have a tax increment financing district in our downtown. And we've spent over $11 million in developer incentives so far. I want to see some of those funds to go towards recruiting, incentivizing, and bringing into our downtown new businesses and encouraging our existing businesses to expand.
Thank you.
Economic development is key to the, the survival of Mount Prospect in terms of revenue flows. We can stay off the property taxes when we have economic development. An open and honest government, you have an open and honest government. You can access any of your trustees, you can come to this meeting, coffee with council, lots of different ways to access your government. Village finances, they have to remain strong, because with a strong financial background or strong financial support, you have more flexibility. Outreach is critical, and that's why I said we're going to the neighborhoods and we're going to hear what the people have to say. There's 5 factors for a strong community: desirable and excellent schools, strong neighborhoods, strong and revitalizing housing stock, a strong and growing business community, and economic development. And I think we have them all going here in Mount Prospect.
Okay, thank you. And then the next question will be started with Augie Filipponi. What sort of support from the village would be helpful for small businesses in Mount Prospect?
You're essentially talking my life. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really the support is the communication, and you need to realize that small business owners are the lifeblood of our community all across America. That is the American dream. And, you know, we need to listen to Downtown Merchants Association, Mount Prospect Chamber. You kind of get a twofer because a lot of these small business owners in town are actually residents as well. And we need to be able to support that entrepreneurialism. We need to be able to support the resources and the diverse responses that they provide. And we also need to realize that they are a vital part of contributing to our community. Block Party, Irish Fest, all those things are put together by these groups, and they are an example of what can be a vibrant and diverse community downtown as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Already, I know that through emails, newsletters, that there are promotions and ways to promote the small businesses, and there just needs to be more intuition for that. There needs to be more drivenness to promote the businesses we have. Downtown has always had great small businesses, starting with the Bussies in the early days, and has grown since. And those downtown amenities are very vital. We always appreciate them. We always know that we always have that one special shop that we always go to. And we need to always be supportive of them, know that they need to know that we're always there for them, not only as residents, neighbors, but as the village and staff.
Thank you.
Mount Prospect is a vital community because of the small businesses that we have throughout the village. Not only in the downtown area, but in all of the local neighborhoods. As Augie said, it's the dream of every entrepreneur. They want to have a place where they can go, have community help. We are so fortunate in that we have an active Chamber of Commerce here in the village of Mount Prospect. That chamber helps to push along all of these small businesses, gives them advice, helps them out, everything that they need to thrive here in the village. Again, we're very fortunate here in Mount Prospect to be a thriving community.
Thank you.
Well, I've already mentioned financial incentives. I do want to see some of our TIF funding be utilized for incentivizing new business growth and support for our existing businesses. I do want to see us go beyond downtown in support of our small businesses. Mount Prospect is a very large community, and we have immigrant-owned businesses. We have ethnic small businesses that need our support, as well as our businesses in the downtown area. I hope to have the village give some support to our small businesses via better promotions, cross promotions, utilizing the village's online and social media platforms. I hope to see all of our local businesses be involved in our community events that give them the exposure to the 54,000 residents that live in this community.
Thank you.
I've never been a supporter of direct giveaways, but we have a facade improvement program which fits very well with the small business. We have an interior build-out program which fits well with the small business. Our downtown area, but frankly throughout the village, we have creative independence. People that have started businesses that you can't find anywhere else. The gatherings right over here, there isn't another business like that. And I'll tell you what will support and what will help our small businesses. When you shop in those stores, don't go to Arlington Heights. Last night, Linda and I were at Sam's. We had a hamburger at Sam's. So all our friends and such. But we specifically decided to stay here in Mount Prospect than to go to Arlington Heights or Des Plaines or somewhere. You have to support your local businesses. That's the key, right? And if it grows big enough, people actually come here. Bussy Automotive, they get people coming from all over to get their car repaired there because of the train. So support your small businesses.
Thank you.
I'm a very active supporter of our Chamber of Commerce and our downtown merchants. I think if you reflect on it, a lot of what we like about Mount Prospect is because of what they do, their businesses and the amazing events that they put on to make our community thrive. I'm a huge supporter of the Mount Prospect Entrepreneurs Initiative. It's a program that's a collaboration between the village, the chamber, and the library that acts as a a base to foster new business growth, and it's produced some amazing businesses, and we're very lucky to have that. I also support the facade program that we have now throughout the village. It used to just be downtown, but we've expanded it to the whole village, as well as 6B tax incentives for companies that need an incentive to be able to stay here in town. I think that the transit-oriented development that we're developing in the downtown is going to boost our already amazing businesses, and I look forward to a thriving, even more thriving downtown.
Thank you. So unfortunately, I've got tons of other cards, but we're running out of time. So it's time to move to the closing statements. And Augie led off on the last question, so we're back to Jeffrey for the closing statements. You each have 1 minute.
I want to thank everyone for coming out today. Great forum hosted by the League of Women Voters. I had a lot of fun today. This is my first time doing something big like this. I've done so much student involvement in my years. I've been involved with student government, student council, class board, and I've always gone for it. I've always pushed everyone and helped guide along new ideas and to help make wherever we were at better. And I want to do that here. I want to be a trustee. I want to be a neighbor to you, to always be helping you, looking out for you, making sure that I do my due diligence to help you make sure that your experience in Mount Prospect is the best, and making sure that we always make sure friendliness is a way of life here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for having this forum today. I'd like to bring up an issue that hasn't been brought up here today, and that is the expansion of the runway on the Chicago Executive Airport. I left some maps out on the table which shows the expansion going over Palatine Road into Prospect Heights and coming right up to the border of Mount Prospect. This is going to bring larger planes and more noise to our community. I think it's a vital issue. I've got a grassroots efforts going. I've got feet on the ground right now signing a petition to stop the expansion, and I'm working diligently to do that. There are several meetings in the next couple of weeks. I'd appreciate if everybody would turn out for those. And I just wanted to say, I need your vote to maintain the proper place in this community.
Thank you.
I am so excited and so heartened to see the increased engagement in this community. Thank you all for coming and participating. Back in 2017, we had 3 vacancies on the village board and only 2 candidates on the ballot. Now, in 2019, we have contested park district races, school district races, and a contested village board race. I want to harness this energy. I want to continue to have a very engaged and very democratic government. I'm not looking for a career in politics. What I hope to do is get elected, serve this community, and then nurture and mentor the next generation of leaders for this community so they can pick up the torch and bring us into the future, which I hope is bright and successful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I want you all to know that it has been a true honor in my life to serve this community for the past 28 years as your village trustee. I'm a strong, consistent, and dedicated public servant with a deep experience and a strong love of Mount Prospect. When you cast your vote for Paul Hofert, you know what you'll be electing. You'll be electing a trustee who values what you have to say and will be your voice in our village government, who will work to keep a lid on our taxes and our spending, and will keep Mount Prospect a vital community with strong property values, a place where people want to live, they want to work, and they want to raise their family. Always remember that Paul Hofert is a nonpartisan independent candidate who answers to no one except you. Citizens of Mount Prospect, I have only your best interests in mind at all times. Over the years, I've shown that I'm a steady and experienced hand to help lead this village into the future. I ask for your vote on Tuesday, April 2nd. Vote Paul Hofert, and I thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for attending, and to the League of Women Voters for putting on this forum. I have 4 years of experience on the village board, as well as a background in government administration. I understand the functions of government and its importance to our community. I believe I'm an asset to the board because I come prepared for meetings, ask pertinent questions, and listen to all sides of an issue. I bring a positive perspective to the board. I make decisions based upon what is best for the entire Mount Prospect community. I carefully consider residents' comments, staff recommendations, and expert reports. Even though I may have a personal feeling about an issue, I vote based upon what I believe is best for the community. I act with the best intentions and care for the future of Mount Prospect. I want Mount Prospect to be a welcoming place for residents and businesses for years to come. I am dedicated to our community and committed to our future.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for coming out. My apologies. Thanks for everyone for coming out, and thanks to League for putting this all together. As we leave, I just want to make one promise to each of you. I will continue to be genuine. Now, that doesn't mean I'm always going to agree with you. That doesn't mean you're always going to agree with me. But you're going to know that every vote I make, every decision I make, is going to be based on logic. It's going to be based on the facts presented. It's going to be based on conversations and investigations. It's going to be a true vote. I am not a politician. If I ever become one, you tell me and I will leave. I will not substitute short-term personal gain for long-term community gain. And I will always put the interests of the many above the interests of the few. I do not kiss up and kick down. The same values I learned from my parents, the same values I learned from the people of Mount Prospect, the same values I learned from my wife and my children every single day. I will use those to benefit Mount Prospect and all its people. Please vote Augie. Thank you.
Thank you. And the League thanks all of you for coming out. There are 3 positions on the ballot and 6 of you interested. Thank you to the audience for showing up. And I had so many questions we didn't get to that you may want to stick around and talk to some of these people, because I apologize that we just don't have enough time. So a round of applause for our candidates. Thank you very much.